George Kilpatrick, Inspiration for the Nation. There's a program in the community where young men get to learn how to be a man, not the man. Joe Horan is the director of the Building Men program of Syracuse. Joe, good to see you. A great partner with Inspiration for the Nation, because you got a nice breakfast coming up on the 15th of October. But first, tell me more about what the Men program is and how it came to be.
It's a group mentoring program that we have in the Syracuse City School Districts. We're in 4 high schools and 8 middle schools, and hopefully this year we'll expand upon that. And we're going to look into going to 6 elementary schools. And we just try to take this journey along with the boys. Our boys, they just strive to belong and to be accepted and to be part of something. And we provide a safe space where we build relationships. We talk about, growing up and the journey of becoming a man. And we laugh, we talk, we engage them into different activities, all for a purpose of talking about healthy masculinity.
Yeah, Joe, when you think about the purpose of this, how did this come to be? Like, what was the impetus for you to begin this program first at the Syracuse City School District, now as a program in cooperation with the Syracuse City School District, but you started it years ago. Tell me, what was the impetus for it?
Yeah, years ago, I thought my life was what I always wanted to be. I was married, I was coaching varsity sports, bought a house, things were looking really good. And then our marriage just failed, right? And then I felt like I failed. I felt like I failed as a man and a husband. And it started me on this journey of looking at what really is a man all about. And I ran into my sister gave me a book about Joe Ehrman. He talks about the myth of masculinity, that we have to be good athletes and we have to be successful with the ladies. We have to make a lot of money. We have to be, what we say, the man, right? The most important person, and, person with all the bling, all the stuff. And at that point in my life, I felt like I completely failed. And then I was teaching physical education at Levy Middle School at the time. And I looked amongst the gym at all the boys and I said, wow, if someone doesn't teach these kids the same thing, they may fall into the same trap that I fall into, and they may feel the same pain that I felt. And so that started the journey of, what we call Building Men program.
I love how you situated it in your own journey. And I think just you sharing that, I think, is something that as men, we're not used to doing. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So so in this book, it talks about what he says, the coherent narrative. And it says, to become a better man, I have to make sense of my experiences as a man. And so I went down to a conference, and he talked about going through and seeing what are the high points and low points, right? What are the experiences in my life that I went through, both as a man and both as a teacher and a coach, and how it impacted me, and to kind of make sense of my own story. And by making sense of my own story, I can then help other people in their journey, make sense of what they're going through.
Certainly, Joe. I mean, I'm asking you all these things. I know all these things, but they don't know all these things because we've done a lot of work together over the years, especially in my role at Vera House in the Engaging Men work. And you talked about what you do with the boys. You just sort of like a quick overview, but it's more to it than that, right? I mean, it's
Right.
not just, helping them with healthy masculinity. There's a lot to what you do with these young men. And they're middle school and in high school. So talk to me about, like, what's the structure of what you do with them, and who's involved, and how do you know that you're making a difference?
Well, we have men at all the different schools that we run program, and they're part of the school staff. And so they see the boys throughout the course of the day. And sometimes you just need to be grounded every once in a while. If things are going a little bit rough, you could see somebody in the hall and you just talk to them real quick and kind of get their bearings back together. And that's one piece of it. But when they come in, we do some fitness and we start getting rid of some of that tension, right? We start working our bodies and get some attention. Then we have check-in, see where everyone's at, right? What's going on? How do things go at school? How are things going at home? And just kind of start building that relationship, not only with the boys, but the boys with each other, and trying to create, a brotherhood of young men that can look out after each other, not only in the after school program, but throughout the course of the school day. And then we do different projects, we do different activities, we bring in speakers, we bring in presentations, we do things like vision boards and passion maps and goal setting, and we do a whole thing on overcoming obstacles and facing adversity and all these kind of things that we're trying to give them a little bit more, as you would say, tools for the toolbox, right? And we talk about the importance of reflection, the importance of looking at what's going on, the importance of mentorship, and those kind of things that I needed to hear, not only at age 12, 13, 14 through 16, but also at later years as well.
Is it a ministry, Joe?
To me, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
100%. This is what I've been called to do. And there's been so many men that, even the staff that have grown since I've known them in the Build and Run program. We all grow together, and it's not anything that I stop growing.
When I think about some of the ways that you were describing the program, I think about the true test is the alumni, right? People who come back, who talk about the experiences that they've had, or how it's changed their lives, or how they may have been a little bit not as involved, or maybe they didn't, they were participating, but they didn't really get it, or really didn't do it the right way then, but realized the value of it now. You heard some of those stories.
Oh, the funniest thing happened to me earlier today. And so I emailed 8 people that were on the list from HR that are interested in working for Building Men. And I got one reply today, says, "Hey, Mr. Horan, you don't remember me, but I was in Building Men in 2006, 2007. It would be an honor to come back and work for the Building Men program." And that's crazy. I mean, I didn't even remember that, the kid's name. There's so many kids that have been through the program. I was at Nottingham last week on a Friday, and one of the kids I knew in 7th, 8th grade just came up to me. We started talking, and he asked me about some of the staff that he knew when he went through the program at Danforth, and so there's just been so many different connections. And I have last year I had like 5 alumni that were once members of the program that are working in some capacity at Building Men program. And that's just a blessing.
So let's talk about this breakfast and how the community can support you.
Oh yeah, this is our 7th annual breakfast, and it's a community event. And so we have this year we're going back to our pre-COVID time, and we have 4 seniors that have been part of Building Men since 6th grade. And they're going to be on a panel, and we're going to do a little ask it basket. So the audience can write little questions on 3x5 cards, and we'll answer as many questions, have the boys answer as many questions as they can. Our interim superintendent, Anthony Davis, has come give us the welcome. It's at ITC High School, and the ITC kids are cooking the meal. And that's like the showcase of the event. I love it. They'll be cooking and serving the meal for us. We're going to have 2 videos that we're going to premiere for the first time, and one about our journey with you at the White Ribbon Walk last March.
Yes, last March. Yeah, because that was our first time back out. Yeah.
That's right. And then also our mental health video. And we did a great mental health event last May. And 2 years in a row, we asked the boys, what is the thing that we really need to address? And the boys themselves says it's our mental health. And so we have a great video on what the boys let them speak about the importance of taking care of your mental health, which is becoming a very, very big thing that we need to do, especially coming out of COVID. And so it'll be a great event.
How can this community support this work? And how do we let people know that it's something that their boys can be involved in?
Well, we're figuring out which city schools we're in. And so I think we'll be in most of the middle schools and the high schools and some of the elementary schools. We'll know more right at the time of the breakfast. And you can just join through the after school program through their schools. As far as the breakfast, we have a link up and we could share it with you to get tickets on Eventbrite. But more importantly, we're always looking for people that want to speak to our boys and share their journey of manhood. We look for people to help us on our committees and just to get the word out that our boys are just priceless, amazing young men that we just need to support and help them through it, because sometimes they get overlooked. Sometimes someone says, "Hey, an adolescent boy, I don't know what to do with them." And so they don't do anything. And that's what somebody said to me last Tuesday. And I'm like, well, we know what to do with them. We just hang out with them. We listen to them. We create a space for them. We love them, and we watch them thrive.
You ever thought about creating some partnerships outside of the Syracuse City School District to do Building Men?
Yes, I have, and I'm almost at that spot.
Almost there.
Almost there. I was talking to someone the other day, and he says, I got to get my own house in order before I move on. And I really took that piece of advice to heart. And so we have a couple of things that we still need to do in our district. We're really working on a mentoring program in the high school, and really working on one more social emotional piece in the middle school. And I think we're in a spot where we can really start impacting more places.
But I heard you say you need men to come in and talk to the boys. So what time would they come in, and how long would they need to talk to them? Tell us what you need.
Oh, well, it's usually after school. It's usually around, 3:30, 4, in that time frame. And usually, the boys are good for a good 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then
That's
they,
it.
yeah, and then they love to ask questions. Some of our boys are so inquisitive, and they really want to ask questions. They want to learn. And if anything, I've learned over the last, 5, 6 years is our boys need exposure to different people, to different job opportunities, to different places, to spark that interest inside to help them become a lifelong learner.
Okay. Lifelong learning begins now, right? So if you want to volunteer and come and speak to the Building Men boys, how do they do that?
On our website, there's a contact us link, and it goes right to my email. And they can just go right to it's buildingmenprogram.org. And then go right to the website and connect, and then we can make it happen.
And they can buy tickets there as well, or do they have to go directly to Eventbrite?
There is directly to the Eventbrite.
Great. All right, Joe Horan, director, mentor, friend, Building Men program. Check out the breakfast. They love your support. October the 15th, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. at the ITC High School in Syracuse. Buildingmenprogram.org on the web. We'll have the links for you on our websites as well. All right, Joe. Listen, have a great rest of your day. And of course, Inspiration for the Nation is a sponsor. Are we a sponsor? No, you're helping us. You're our partner. It's a sponsor of this. Building Men program is a sponsor of Inspiration for the Nation. Have a great day, Joe, and keep doing the work. Keep doing the work because it's so needed, and you do it with such joy and such passion. And I just love how you speak about the boys and the change that, listen, their lives are being impacted one boy at a time, and we appreciate the work you're doing.
All right. Thank you so much for having me, George.
Inspiration for the Nation.